Came into my life, I will look inside your eyes. I see pain, I see light, I see everything a nigga never ever seen before. Sometimes I close my eyes and I don't wanna wake no more. Looking at my niggas, sorry for the struggle, bro. The world fucked up, you out here on your own. Show me something different, baby, something I don't know. Tell me that I'm different, say I'm worth a million souls. Take me to a place I don't know. Take you out of here, shut your eyes and let me flow. You a sun child, I'm a winner, baby, though. Opposites attract so we can let the seasons go. Getting so high that the gods call me bro. One that's above, one that's below. Whisper in my ears, only hear the darkest tones. Black lipstick, wish, love emotions out of hope.
I'll do anything to protect you. Forever. No matter what. I swear.
I'll do everything I can to make sure you get back to the real
Goth
world.
Boy Click. Goth Boy Click.
Don't let me go. I'm so sure. That's more. And I wish you could think that it's alright. Save me in love light. Don't ever let me go. Cause the questions that are not right.
Wicca Face, Prince Eternal, Goth Boy Click, Misery Club. Brody in the chat. What's up, Brody? What's up, Danny? What's up, Charlotte? What's up, Lilio? Noel's here from New York, I believe, right? That was a Noel. Noel brought that song back into my brain. Thanks, Shannon. What's up, Arcane? So, what's up, Shameless? What's up? Who else is here? Taylor, Tom. What's up, everyone? Sunday night stream. I love the Sunday night stream. Sundays. Normally, I hate Sundays. They're like aimless days. What's up, Blythe? What's up, Killer? 2 first-time chats. Yeah, normally I hate Sundays, but I like the streams on a Sunday. It gives me something to do, something to look forward to, breaks up the afternoon into the night, which is the worst part of a Sunday, objectively. I'm banging on the table because I'm hot right now, hot about Sundays. I'm excited. Shannon, it's all right. There's no obligation. You don't have to feel bad about missing streams. I'll be here, you know. How's everyone doing? We're going to get my plugs out of the way. Listen, if you don't know, tomorrow night, Wicca Face, Prince Eternal, Brody, playing in Brooklyn. Hype Train's going. Playing in Brooklyn. Doors at 9:30. Show at 10. Brody's on at 10. You need tickets? There's the link. There's probably not many left. My booking person just stopped sending me ticket updates. And then he offered me a tour that I do not want to go on. I'm not going. I said no. I was like, I'm open to tours, okay? I'm open to it. Just not this kind of tour. It was a pop punk tour. It wasn't for a pop punk boy though. But it was a pop punk tour. I didn't want to do it. No one else said bet it wasn't our theater tour. No, I would do an art theater tour. I was like, listen, here's the deal. Like, my new album is this, okay? There's acoustic songs, and then there's futuristic Wicca phase songs. Sci-fi. What did the guy from Run for Cover say? It was so weird too, because the booking agent put me in a group chat with someone from Run for Cover and was like, "Hey Adam, are you interested in these shows?" And then I felt all this pressure to be like, "Oh fuck, like, is he putting? Why? I don't know." Anyway, he said. So I texted my label guy to the side, and I was like, "Listen." Here's exactly what I said. Listen, I really want to say no to this because I don't think it's going to be the right fit. I might be moving around that time next year. And a month on the road with that band sounds like torture. But if you, meaning Run for Cover, think it's the right fit, I would consider doing some of the tour. He said, nah, fuck it, not worth the torture. And he said, that band's fans aren't going to be interested in an acoustic track that sounds like Johnny Cash or sci-fi trap beats. Which I agree. Dropped a pen. I'm not saying the name. I can't say I just trashed the band. I'm not going to say their name. I didn't appreciate how my booking people tried to get me to do the tour either by like mentioning that some of my friends might be on it. I was like, yo, come on, man. Hey, I've been using these new pens, Sharpie S Gels 07. Marcus, if it was Turnstile, I'd be on that tour in a second. I'd be agreeing to that tour in a second. Anyway, yeah, these Sharpie S Gels 07 are great. I'm not saying names. I'm not going to name. I'm just saying. Listen, do you guys really want me to? You don't want me to be on pop punk tours in like, third from the top, and then like I don't come to your city for another 6 months because I just was there with like, playing like a 20-minute set or something for some opening band that you're paying double the ticket price to see. You know what I mean? You don't want that. And I don't want that. Yeah, I think I'm going to be moving. I bought this house. I bought this house with someone else in mind. And I probably wouldn't have picked this specific house if it was just me. I don't know where I'm going to move. I'm thinking about moving. I want to be close to here. Most of my family lives out of state. My grandmother still lives here though. So I'd like to be within like an hour and a half of her. She's 91, and I'm like the closest one here. And I moved like 20 minutes away from her like last year when I bought this house, and even that's like pretty far, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Uh Anyway, what am I hey, I'm playing a show tomorrow with Brody in case that got lost um in my touring rants. And we're playing in Brooklyn, and it's at 9:30. Doors are at 9:30 p.m. Show at 10. It's just me and Brody. Brody's opening, and then me. Short show. Thanks, Lelio. Um, Not short, but not many. It's not like a million people playing. So there's that. I also have merch you can get there. And you can also, if you're new and you don't know who I am, you can listen to my music there. Okay? And with that said, we're talking about shows. My attitudes towards shows have changed in the past 10 years, specifically with Wicca Phase. First show I ever played was with my first ska band, and we played someone's birthday party, and then back deck. I was like 11 or 12 years old. First real show I played that was like a ticketed event was I believe it was in Hawley, Pennsylvania, outside of Scranton, about 45 minutes outside of Scranton, with this band called the Cretans. And the Cretans went on to the singer of the Cretans was Greg Barnett, who is now the singer of the Menzingers. Played that show. And then, man, we were playing a lot of shows with that ska band. And our parents would have to drive us. My dad would drive us, or our bass player, Jordan, his dad would drive us. That was always a pain. And then when Tiger's Jaw started playing shows, have I ever played upstairs at the Khyber in Philly? Yeah, Pay for Pain did in 2017 or 2018. I think probably 2018 or 19. I don't know. Let's see. I'll Google it. Pay for Pain Khyber. Nothing came up. So I don't know. But yeah, we played there. With Tiger's Jaw, so the first Tiger's Jaw show technically was me playing an acoustic show in the basement of Test Pattern. Test Pattern was a venue that it was an art gallery in downtown Scranton, and depending on what the state of it was, you would either play upstairs in the art gallery, very small, or you would play down in the basement. First Tiger's Jaw show I did was down in the basement. It was an acoustic show. Maybe 20 people there, 30 people there. Ben Walsh was one of those people. Now, I had met Ben before then once or twice at other shows, but that's where we really started talking about, making Tiger's Jaw band. Is the Tiger's Jaw song named after that place? Yes. Yeah, it is. There is a Tiger's Jaw song called Test Pattern. I forgot. That's one of Ben's songs, I think. And And then me and Ben, we were young, like 15 or 16 or 17, somewhere in that range. We started running sound at that place too. We were regulars there. We would go to every event, every show. It was just like a all ages venue. It was run by like college kids. And we started running sound at that place too. Like if they didn't have a sound guy, which was often. We would book shows there a lot, so that helped a lot. That helped a lot for Tiger's Jaw, was being able to book our own shows, and we had a lot of local bands that we were friends with, so that helped. Also helped that we were able to, book ourselves in, strategic positions where like, oh, the Menzingers are playing their first show. Let's book them at Test Pattern, and we'll play that. That helped. First Tiger's Jaw tour was with the Green Chair, who I've talked about a lot in recent streams. Ben and I were in that band. Tiger's Jaw at that time, the touring lineup was just me and Ben, I think. Yeah, it was. We toured with our friend DJ. DJ drove us to all of our shows at the time. I didn't start driving until I was like 18. So DJ would drive us, and for that show, for that tour, we used our friend Joe Rogers' van, and Joe drove us. I'm not really in touch with Joe. Yeah, we got kicked out of the Green Chair shortly after that tour. I think what really happened was they tried to tack on a last-minute show to that tour at home, and me and Ben weren't feeling it, so we said no, and then I think we got kicked out. Green Chair was just a band, an old band that I was in. Played guitar. Ben played drums. Yeah, I don't really talk to Joe Rogers or DJ anymore, but Joe tried to attack me at a I've only been in one fight in my life, and this dude well, I started dating his ex-girlfriend, and he wasn't really into that. So after a Tiger's Jaw show with Balance and Composure at Union Transfer, he really weird. His girlfriend saw me at the bar with my girlfriend at the time, Joe's ex-girlfriend, and Joe's current girlfriend went home and told Joe that I was at this bar. Weird. But I was with a bunch of other people. So I walked out of the bar, and I turned the corner, and he was there, and he was on a BMX bike. So I was like 22 at this time. Yeah, it is weird to have a new girlfriend and get mad about me dating your ex-girlfriend. I agree. Anyway, he threw his BMX bike at me. And then I punched him. I didn't know what else to do, so I just punched him in the face. I was with two other guys, and they held him back, and yeah, he threw the bike at me. He did this move where he was riding the bike, and then he kind of jumped back so his legs hit the ground, and he whipped the bike forward at me. But I was with two other guys and two other girls, and we just beat the shit out of them, I guess. The girls were it was pretty funny because the girls were just all right, so the two guys were holding his arms. The two guys were holding his arms, and I was just punching him. He was on the ground, and they were holding him down, and I was just punching him or kicking him or something. This is the only fight I've ever been in. And I looked over, and the two girls were stomping his bike, trying to ruin his bike. And then some lady was walking her dogs, and this kid yells, "These guys jumped me," or something. So then we had to run. And then, but then I hurt my wrist, and then I had to miss. I couldn't record guitar. Tiger's Jaw was recording the next day, and I think it was whatever My Friend Morrissey is on. Whatever split that is. The Black Clouds split. We did not jump him. He jumped me. We retaliated. And then the next day I had to miss recording. Well, I went to the recording. I just couldn't play guitar. My hand was messed up. But I sang on it. That's right, AJ. Anyway. Anyway. Tiger's Jaw played that first tour with the Green Chair and Louch. Louch was an awesome band from like Wilkes-Barre area. They were like folk rock. They were cool. They were older guys. They looked awesome. They had like a cool aesthetic. I don't know if I'll be able to find any of their music. Louch. Oh yeah, here's one. I don't know if this song is any good.
Too much to breathe. It's getting hard to breathe.
Anyway, we used to play a lot of shows. Tiger's Jaw early on played a lot of shows in Dennis's basement. This is before Dennis was in the band. He hit me up on Instant Messenger and asked if we wanted to play his house. We said yes. At one of those shows, I drank for the first time. I drank a 40. I just sat in a car, me and Mike, who was Mike was our drummer at the time, early Tiger's Jaw drummer. We were drinking 40s. But we were like sitting in the car drinking 40s like until they were done. And I was like, this alcohol stuff doesn't do anything. And then I got up and I was like, yes, it does. Those were some of my favorite shows ever. Met so many people that I'm still friends with to these days. It was like, I went to like one high school, I went to one high school, but like Dennis and all of his friends went to this other one. They all went to Scranton Prep, which is like the preparatory school. Then Shameless. But they had like, punk kids that went there. It was weird. It was like punk kids, but also like just their friends at the prep school who were coming to like basement shows. So I met so many people there that I'm still friends with to this day. Pat Breyer, one of my best friends. Dennis, of course. Matt, who records Pay for Pain. Yeah, a lot of my friends. We met there. And then shows just became like social events. There was never, I never really understood like what people did, like what kids did in high school or anything like that. If they weren't going to shows, because shows were just, there were, we had a couple venues here. There were always shows. There was always at least one show a weekend that you could go to. Is there a difference between middle school and high school? Yeah, middle school is like grades 6 through 8. So you're like, 11 to 13 or something like that? 11 to 13. And then high school is grades 9 through 12. So you're like, 14 to 18? Middle school is when I was going to like, I was going to ska shows and punk shows and stuff. I used to go to this skate park called Sessions. Are they part of the same campus? Some of them are. Mine were not. But they're usually like near each other. Anyway, they're different buildings, but yeah. Yeah, we used to go to this place called Sessions, and I used to be in like a church youth group when I was young, and like me and this other girl, Felicia, we were like punks. So we would have like the guy who ran the youth group take us to the show, like drop us off at the shows at Sessions. That was fun. Um, had a girlfriend. Only place like I had a girlfriend when I was like in 7th or 8th grade. Only place we could make out was at the shows. You know what it is. Sessions closed. Saw a lot of great bands there though. Had a lot of fun there. I love that place. Started going to shows at Cafe Metropolis. Cafe Metropolis, saw a lot of ska shows there, played a lot there. I think Tiger's Jaw played there at least once or twice. One time I was drunk at a Tiger's Jaw show, and I was on stage, and I threw a beer bottle, and it hit the lights of the venue. Not cool, Adam. I was like wild. I don't know. Anyway. When Tiger's Jaw kind of solidified our whoopsies, right? Well, I didn't mean to do it. I don't know where I meant to throw it, but I didn't mean to hit the lights of the venue. I think I was like concerned that we weren't edgy enough. So, I don't know. Charlotte, that's kind of what I'm doing right now, I guess. I didn't really mean to be doing this, but I guess the point is that I really did love shows. When Tiger's Jaw solidified our lineup, and it was like, you know, the solid me, Ben, Brianna, Pat, Dennis lineup is when we started doing tours. Toured with like real tours, toured with Title Fight. That was our first one. That led to us getting signed with Run for Cover. That was fun. That's when like we really started learning about what touring was like. When we when me and Ben did our first tour as Tiger's Jaw, we were just like we were the babies on the tour. Everyone like Louch and the Green Chair were in their 20s and 30s, so they took care of us like in terms of finding places to stay and stuff like that. When we started touring on our own, that's when we really started figuring out like, okay, this is what goes into it. We were usually doing like, we'd stay at people's houses. Almost always, we were staying at people's houses. Brianna was great at finding people's houses to stay at. She had a lot of friends everywhere. She was more plugged into the hardcore world. And like being plugged into the hardcore world, you know, those people are just used. It was just a scene that was more understanding of touring bands and taking care of touring bands. So that helped a lot. I was pretty useless. I would find us places and they'd be terrible places, and then but I loved it, man. Shameless. I was gonna crowdsource my set for tomorrow, but I had to get it together kind of soon, kind of quickly, so I could send it to Brody. I'll get into it. Let me finish up my trip down memory lane. Eventually, Tiger's Jaw shows stopped being fun for me. Specifically, we just weren't moving fast enough. There was nothing. I was sick of playing. The songs that you write when you're 16 are way different than the songs you write when you're 23. Even though the songs, even today I play songs 10 years later that are like early Wicca Phase songs sometimes. They don't feel as old as the songs that I wrote when I was like 16, And when I was 23, they don't feel as old as the songs that I wrote 7 years before. What's the worst place we stayed? One time in Michigan, we stayed with this couple. They seemed great. I thought how many floors did we sleep on? Like a million every night. But one time in Michigan, Brianna was like, "Hey, this dude said we could stay at his house," and he was like in a band, and I was like, "No, no, no." I was like, "I found this couple at the bar, like at the bar of the venue. And I already told them we would stay, and I already told them we would stay with them, and like it's all taken care of. And Captain We're Sinking is on tour with us, and they could stay with us too. And they were the worst people in the world. They called us every homophobic slur that you could imagine to our faces, or to our faces. Also, yeah, this is the story with the dishes and the sword. Yeah, they had swords that they were just brandishing and playing with. This was, well, when did we? You'd have to look up like the last Tiger's Jaw, Captain We're Sinking tour in Michigan. I don't know when this was. Oh, here, this is it. Hold on, I found it. 2011. This was the third day of the tour. Second or third day of the tour. It was the first. Yeah, it was the second day of the tour. Yeah, they were like gaming, and they were like, "There's a bunch of slurs staying with us right now." They had a baby, and like Captain We're Sinking slept in the baby's room with the baby. It was fucked. The whole situation was fucked. I never got up so early. We were just like up at 5 a.m. and out of there. Awful. Awful. Everyone was so mad at me. Because I insisted that we stay with these cool people. I think because they said they had weed or something. And, 22-year-old Adam can't pass up weed. I was 21 at the time. It was bad. It was so bad. It was that was so bad. Everyone was so mad at me. I have like chills thinking about that. Like how awful that was, and how I could have potentially gotten my band and the opening bands beheaded. Horrible. Horrible, horrible. Man, it was awful. I feel like that baby's probably in the chat right now. But yeah, eventually it was shows that really did me in with Tiger's Jaw, because I just wasn't feeling it. I couldn't play Chemicals one more time. I didn't want to play I Saw Water anymore. Like, just, it's all we've been doing. And like I even thought, like, all right, we have Charmer coming up, but like we're really only going to play like 3 or 4 new songs from that every night, and that's not enough, and that's going to get old. I just don't want to do it. And we had a tour coming up with the Menzingers in Europe. I just didn't want to do it. And then, Wicca phase started before I left Tiger's Jaw. Early Wicca phase shows were generally terrible. I talked about them, my first setup in the stream the other day, where I would tour off. I had like a 8-track digital recorder that I would bring with me. And I would just preload the tracks and like fade in the keyboards and stuff and sing. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. There wasn't really a template. Like I didn't have any of the. I just didn't really think about it. I didn't think, like, before I started taking shows as Wicca phase, I didn't think what they would be like how I would act, what I would do on stage. I didn't have a band behind me. That's when I realized, like, oh my God, having a band behind you is the best thing, because you have 4 other people carrying the load. If someone fucks up, it doesn't really matter. And also you're up there with your friends, and you're if you're in it together. With Wicca Phase, it was just, it still is to this day. Like, it feels like just me, and if it goes wrong, it's my fault, and if it goes right, it's a miracle. And it stresses me out, which is a part of the reason why I don't play a lot of shows. I think that'll change. It's funny because it's like 10 years later, but I still feel the same way sometimes, where I'm like, fuck, like what am I do? How do I carry this set? I would play a lot of shows in I'd play a lot of shows in I would do like a lot of post what are they called? Like after party type things for Tiger's Jaw shows, where people would book me in like a dorm room or like a house or a basement or a small club. After a Tiger's Jaw show, people would book Wicca Phase. Largely, people were confused, especially if I was going under my real name. There's a lot of heckling. Sometimes there still is. But it got better. It definitely got better. I think what started happening was I started playing more local shows. I kind of stripped back. Well, I kind of just stopped taking any show that was offered to me, and then I would also, it kind of became less about the social element too. The stuff that made shows fun to me when I was in high school wasn't it just wasn't really there anymore, like after college and stuff like that, or in college. It was if I went to Philadelphia and all my friends were there or something like that, but thanks, Jaguar. But like for the most part, it felt like lonely and confusing. But then I started playing more local shows, like around like 2015, 2014, 2015, 2016. I would play more local shows, and that got me more comfortable with like the whole thing. And then when I got my manager, my first manager, I always like to clarify that I don't have a manager anymore. But when I first got my manager, he got me playing more shows, and we started doing like, then I had Jonah. This was the other thing, is that like Jonah came into the mix, where he started DJing for me. That helped a lot, because then I at least had someone else up there to look at. That helped me and Jonah, and then Fantasy Camp I'm talking about. Then eventually Zubin, and that, we were all pretty local to each other. And that's right, Marcus. And that helped a lot. And then, we would do small weekend shows, and that's where I feel like things started really, like, then the awkward, like, growing phase kind of disappeared. I was kind of over it then. Once I had people, like, gassing me up, too. Like, once I had more of a fan base, people started knowing my music, because for a long time, I was playing shows to a lot of people who had never heard anything that I had. They just knew me from Tiger's Jaw. So, that sucked. But like eventually, I had more material out. I had Abercrombie and Me and Passionate Yet and Hell Version and February 13th and Outside Your Window, etc., etc. I had this music out so people could know the songs that they were going to hear before shows, and that helped a lot. So then we did like a small run in Texas. We did a small run in the Northeast. And then, after that, while in the awkward phase, did I consider rejoining Tiger's Jaw? No. No, I did not. I was determined to make Wicca Phase work. And that would have been too soon. That would have rejoining Tiger's Jaw would have been like admitting defeat with Wicca Phase before it really got up off the ground. Because when, Secret Boy came out and then Suffer On, I was playing a lot of shows, more comfortable. I had my people, people started hearing about Wicca Phase, people started hearing about GBC. I did the shows with Peep, and those shows were something else. I did two runs of shows with Peep. I did a very small, very short Northeast run around Easter one year. We did I think I did Philly, New York, maybe Boston. Noel, the venue is providing the venue's providing a merch seller, but thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'll be touring when my new album comes out. I did these 2 runs of Peep shows, and the first ones were like really crazy, really eye-opening to be like, shit, like this is someone that I'm directly adjacent to. We're in the same group, and like we're a thing now. Like he's a thing, but it's not so weird when I go up on stage because we're doing similar things. And Snowful. You know what I mean? Like it's like that's when it was like, these are my people. These are Goth Boy Click shows. They're little Peep shows, but like, you know what I mean? It's same thing. They're members of Goth Boy Click. Getting big reactions. And all of a sudden I felt comfortable there. And I started making money too. I was selling merch like crazy at these shows. And then I was even more motivated to play. So then we did the Come Over When You're Sober tour. And that was another whole, something else on a whole different level. We were on a bus. Normally when we're traveling, we're in a van, and we're like getting hotels. We're getting hotels. I dropped my pen again. We're getting hotels and stuff like that. For the Lil Peep show, we were on a bus. The Come Over When You're Sober tour, we're on a bus, which was like crazy. It was like, wait, like I feel like we skipped a million steps, But whatever. They wanted the illusion of a bus, which was probably an awful mistake. Horrible mistake. Actually, I remember being on that tour and talking to Gus, and Gus being like, yeah, they wanted me to have a bus, like for the image of having a tour bus. And that was a bad, if someone, it's just fucked. It creates a fucked situation, because then he doesn't have to get off the bus ever, you know what I mean? Until he plays, and then he can go right back on the bus. And that shit is fucked. Especially with what he had going on, that was a terrible thing. How was it being the older person on tours compared to what you were used to before? That was also weird. Thank you, Evan Kelly. I appreciate that. Yeah, first access is right. Yeah, that was fucked, And being one of the older people on that tour, like me and Fishnark are around the same age, and like, who else was on that at the time that I was on it? Ned. I don't know how old MacNed is. I've actually no idea how old MacNed is. How old is MacNed? All right, so he's like 27 or something like that. Yeah, I don't know. Or something, I don't know, around there. Maybe a little bit older. Yeah, 27, 28. I just realized. I always thought MacNed acts way older than me. MacNed has way more life experience than I do. So I look up to MacNed the same way I would look up to, like, the Menzingers or whoever, like when I was young, Yeah. Yeah, he was like 22 or something like that, and I was like, MacNed was like my old head. You know what I mean? Where I'd be like asking MacNed for advice because he's just so mature. Um, and he just like seems to have everything figured out. you know, MacNed. MacNed's the type of person where like I'm an anxious person, so I worry about everything, and he like has everything figured out, and so he doesn't really understand why I would ever be anxious about anything. I miss him. I have to hit him up. I should get him on some songs too. Anyway, did those tours. Obviously, the Peep tour didn't end great. And then it was shortly after that I had to start touring for Suffer On. And I really didn't want to do a long tour, so I broke it up into like 2-week segments. And I mean, I guess, we're here now, you know. I don't really know what that last 45 minutes was about. My personal history with shows, I guess. Suffer on tour was cool. I love that tour. How did the COVID break affect your mindset about tours? I was like, this is great because now I don't have to play shows, and uh, my I didn't really. I don't make a lot of money on. Well, you can make a lot of money on tours, and for a lot of people, a lot of bands, you have to tour to make money because you're splitting money multiple ways, etc. So, and like not. I think I'm kind of a unique artist where, Jagar. What's the greatest show you've ever been to specifically? Oh yeah, right. So uh uh what are my well, hold on. All right. So let me talk about what goes into shows. Listen, I have to play shows. It's an essential part. You kind of just have to do it. You don't have to, but you should. It helps. It's Twitch, not that it's eliminated the need for me to play shows, but I don't have to play as many shows because I can, you can see me and you can hear me and whatever. Oh, the Arizona show during the Suffer On tour, that was a great show. The Arizona shows are great. Bye, Charlotte. Thank you. And I will play shows, but I think now I'm in a position where I can play shows that I want to play and curate them the way I want to, I want shows to go rather than just like touring the country and then, going back out and doing the same cities with a different lineup and stuff like that. That does not appeal to me. What I like being about a musician is the writing process and the recording process and whatever. I will play shows and I will go to every city that I can. I just it's not my favorite part of making music, and I'm just going to be more selective with it. Here's what goes into a show. My booking people hit me up. Someone emails my booking people. My booking people, their job is to secure the amount of money that I get for a show, 1. 2, make sure that stuff like the promotion of the show and the environment of the show is safe and that the promotion happens and that That's 2, I guess. And 3, that I get paid. All right? And that they don't try and pull some shit. Because a lot of times promoters will, you know, for example, I don't want to be playing a show. Say, for example, that a promoter booked me, and then they were like, and to open, we're going to book this person, and that person was canceled. I knew that this person was canceled or something. My booking people would, instead of me emailing the promoter and being like, what the fuck, why is this person on the show? My booking people do that for me, okay? Really, my job is to just the booking people make it, so my job is to just show up, play, and then leave, okay? What is my fee? No, I can't tell you that. I mean, it changes. It depends what the situation is. If it's a one-off show, say someone wanted to fly me to Seattle to play one show, and it wasn't around a tour or something, the expenses for that show are going to be higher because it's a plane ticket in a hotel and whatever. If it's part of a tour, it'll be less money to book me because I'm already traveling and, whatever. My booking people get a percent of what I get paid, okay? They get 10% of what I make from the show. That doesn't include merch. No one touches the merch. So anyway, a booker, here's the process. Someone will hit up my booking people, or they'll hit me up, and I'll direct them to my booking people. And then they will email me, and they'll say, do you want to play this show on this date for this amount of money? And I will either say yes or no. Usually I say no. Sometimes I say yes. And then did Copes have to go through my booking people? Yes, he did. Yeah. Yeah. Everyone has to go through my booking people. I think the only people that didn't go through my booking people were GCW, when GCW booked me for Emo Fight. What's the most I got paid for a show? I think I got a lot of money to play that Billboard Hot 100 Fest. I don't know. The song I was playing in the beginning of the stream is "Go with Your Heart." It's a Wicca Phase song, off the album Abercrombie and Me with MacNed. I don't know. It was like a couple thousand or something like that for that. I probably got like $10,000 to play Billboard Hot 100 Festival because it's a big festival and there's a lot of strings that are attached to that. You can't play anywhere in the area for like months on end and whatever. I do not get paid $10,000 for a show. Okay, let's make that clear. Anyway, what percent are the booking people worth for the amount of headaches they save you? They're worth the 10% that they get from a show. They're definitely worth it. All right, so then if I say yes, I want to play this show, then they confirm the details, and then they'll send me over like a contract from the promoter, and then I hand that off to my business managers, and they look it over, and then they factor that into my cash flow, etc. Okay. Normally, I'm booked for a show like a month or probably like 2 months in advance. Normally it's that. So then I forget about the show. The next step in this process is I forget about the show. And then about 3 weeks before the show, my booking agents will email me and they'll say, Adam, you have to promote the show. And I'll say, that's right. I completely forgot about this show. Probably wouldn't have agreed to do it if I. Normally, what happens is I'll get an offer for a show and I'll be like, oh, that's like months away. Yeah, I'll do that. And then, you know. And then it's like weeks away and I'm like, oh, fuck, I forgot about this. And now I have to actually play it. And then, so then I'll start promoting the show. And then they'll ask me, like, wait, who do you have opening the show? And I'll be like, I don't know. And they'll be like, well, you have to find someone to open for you, unless you want us to do it. But normally, my booking people don't really know what to do with me. So it's better that I handle the openers, you know? Because sometimes people will end up on shows that will confuse my audience if I leave it up to my booking people. So then I have to scramble to find. This isn't every show, but it's typical. Yeah, it's because they don't understand the genre. What's up, Ruby? You're fine. Yeah, they don't really understand. They just don't know what to do with me. They don't really understand the world, you know? So, like, I mean, sometimes the promoters will also just pick someone. Sometimes the promoters will be like, okay, these are the openers, you know? Do they not just have a list of people on deck? Yeah, they do, but like how many times can I play with Anxious, you know? You know, how many times can I play with Fantasy Camp? As much as I love playing with them, I can't keep doing the same show in every city, you know, or the same city every time I go there. What's the most ill-fitting suggestion? I can't. Sorry, Tom. I can't say that. Yeah, the Wicca Phase Citizen tour would have been good. That would have been a good tour for me, I think. I think I would have gained a lot of fans. Possibility of meet Computer as an opener in the future, very high. I would love to have him on a show. He'd be someone where if he lived closer to me, I'd be playing a lot of shows with him. So anyway, for this New York show, for example, you know, it was like 2 weeks out, and they were like, wait, you don't have an opener. And I was like, I thought you guys were going to get the opener. And luckily, I was like, well, I just met Brody, and Brody lives in New York, so maybe I'll ask him. And he was able to do it. So it worked out. What about Corbin opening for me? I think I would be opening for Corbin. Corbin wouldn't be opening for me. It would be a dream for me to open for Corbin, for sure. Also around, you know, the 2 to 3 week period out, I have to start thinking about merch. Only recently did I start thinking, like, maybe I should have specific merch for specific shows. You know, for tours, there's a lot of merch being printed, so you need to get your orders in, you know, a month before or something. Rose, you're fine. It was flattering that you would think that Corbin might open for me, but realistically, it would be the other way around, you know? So like for this show, I was like, man, I would like some merch for the show. I think that would help make the show a little bit more special, is if I had like exclusive merch or merch that you can buy first at that show. And so I hit up. So I'm like, man, who can get me a design in the next week or two or something like that? So I hit up Alex Stewart, and Alex Stewart sent me about 40 designs. And so I picked some, sent them to Good Fortunes Green Printing with like the blanks I want and the numbers and whatever. Paid them, that's it. And then I'm pretty much good for the show. And this, so normally Jonah, Fantasy Camp, DJs for me. But Alex deleted his Instagram. You can only get to him through email now. But I don't know why. He emailed me one time and told me. He was like, "You have to email me." I deleted my Instagram. Anyway, so Brody is DJing for me for this show, and he's also opening. And Brody asked me, can you send me the set list early so I could. I don't know why, actually. Now that I think about it, I don't know why he needed it earlier. But if I were a DJ, I would also want the set early so I could practice it, make sure everything's all right. So good on Brody. There's an ad. I'm going to take a break for a second, too. Anyway, here's how I decide the set list. Do I tell him when my talking breaks are? Well, no. Sometimes I'll tell Jonah. Sometimes if I think of it, when I'm writing out the set list, I will, listen, if you don't, I'll get back to I'll talk about that in a second. Normally, if, normally I'll just, text. See, Jonah has all my songs, on his computer, so it's never really a problem. But, normally, yeah, sometimes I'll tell him, all right, we'll do these 4 songs, and then give me a break, For Brody, I'll just, feel it out, I'll sing until I'm tired, and then, or until it's an appropriate time for me to say something, and then, I'll just, look at him. Normally I'll do this, and that'll be the sign to give me a minute. When Parvo DJ'd for me at that last LA show, I had to give him, hey, thank you, Dead Orchid. Thank you, Shameless. Listen, if you don't want ads, you can subscribe. If you have Amazon Prime, you can, if you have Amazon Prime, you get a free Twitch subscription. So you can just, link it to your Twitch and then subscribe, and you get it for free. Thanks, Shameless. Thanks, Dead Orchid. Yeah, subscribe if you don't want ads. So when it comes to picking a set list, it's like this. There are some songs I don't know what the standard is for picking a set list. I don't know how the Rolling Stones pick a set list. I don't know why I picked the Rolling Stones. I don't know how Future picks a set list, or Lil B, or NoFX, or anyone, Rancid. Actually, I do know how Rancid picks a set list because they've been playing the same set for 20 years. They open with Radio, and then they go into Maxwell Murder, and then they go into Ruby Soho, and then Roots Radical, whatever. Anyway, oh, Shameless. I missed the last episode. I'm one behind. I didn't see Friday's episode of The Rehearsal. So we'll talk about that on Tuesday. Remind me. I'm going to watch that tonight. Here's how I pick a set list. I pick a couple songs that I feel like I need to play. They're the biggest songs. Generally the biggest songs. So Rest. Oh, Brody, you watched The Rehearsal too? We should talk about that. The Rehearsal is Nathan Fielder's show on HBO. His new show. I always play all right, Rest. Just One Thing. Those 2 songs always I'll always play those because they're 2 of my biggest songs, and I always think well, if someone's coming, if it's their first time seeing me or something like that, I don't want to fuck them. I don't want to be playing all these weird B-sides or deep cuts because they're my most popular songs, and they are my most popular songs for a reason. Like people like them, you know? So I always do that. I always play them. Let me look at my set list for tomorrow. I don't want to spoil it. I feel like that's not cool for the people that are going to the going to the show. I feel like it's better for it to be a surprise. But you could also probably read behind the lines here. Read between the lines? Is that what I said? Sorry, I started reading the chat. All right, so like I think about the songs that are here we go. That are like the most important. Thanks, Noel. The top 3 songs. Rest, Just One Thing. Lights on Paper is up there. Play that one a lot. Secret Boy sometimes. Secret Boy is hard as fuck to sing. It's a really hard song to sing. So, Secret Boy, like I'll play it sometimes, but like not all the time. And then from there, once I have like once like the regular ones are in there, regular ones being like the hits, then there's a couple factors. I'll think about new songs that I want to play. I kind of think of it like you're booking a wrestling card, all right? Like you want your main guys in there, right? And then, there's songs that you're building, right? Like songs that you are newer, or songs that you want to focus on, or songs that you want to be important. So you have to throw those in there. Whether people want to hear them or not, you have to give them the time in the set, like the real estate on the set, because they're not going to become popular if you don't push them, So there's that. And then after that, it's really just like going through my releases and like picking like 1 or 2 songs from every release like that I can. Again, I have like so many fucking songs. I have like 200 songs, really. Shameless is right. And so I just try and go through my older releases and play a couple songs from each. Regarding encores, well, here's another thing. So I don't like to play long sets. Not because I don't like playing long sets, but I think they're indulgent sometimes. Am I limited to time when it comes to sets as a headliner? Sometimes, yeah. Yeah, tomorrow I have an out. Like tomorrow I have to be done at a certain time. I only get so much time. So that makes it easy. I just like fill that time with music. If Wicca plays Tracer, I will buy him a bagel before the show. Well, how do you know? Yeah, it's usually about a 1-hour set. Normally I play about normally it's about 45 minutes. 45 minutes to an hour. And I play at 10:30 tomorrow. Normally I play about a 45-minute set. And that's just because I try and play hard, I'm doing 13 songs tomorrow. 13 or 14. Yeah, 10:30 I play. Yes. Shameless. What else? I don't know. what else can I say without giving? I'm not going to give away anything from the set list. There is no encore. I'm just going to go hard at the end of the set. How about that? Do I let every track finish or cut some short to make time for others? I cut some short. Really just so so I'm not like standing on stage doing nothing while the song plays out. I play if there's lyrics in the song, you know what I mean? What am I trying to say? I'll play the song until I stop singing, and then I'll have like the DJ fade out generally. Yeah. That's what I do. One thing I don't get, yeah, cut the music outro. One thing I don't get, I don't know if this is a joke in the set. All right, so someone said I should blade before the final song. I think they meant like cut my forehead open. And then I think that got confused as to me playing a Blade song. I never fucking get when people play other people's songs in the middle of their set. What is that? What is that? Like, I see that happen all the time. I see major rappers doing that. Like, popular fucking rappers. I bet they do it at Rolling Loud. No, not covers. Not covers. Just like, you know, I don't know. You guys know what I mean. I bet they do it at Rolling Loud. You know. Yeah, they just play the song. Like, rap. This is like solely a rap thing. Give an example. I kind of forget. Let me think. Let me think of one. Who did I see do it? I forget. Peep did it with a Blink-182 song. Well, he just played the song like at the end of his set. Does Uzi do it? I don't think so. Yeah, all right. Maybe it is supposed to be a respect thing. I think it's fucking lame. I don't. Could you imagine if I was like, all right, like in the middle? Yeah, I've seen people do it with Look at Me too, Taylor. Who does it? It's that song specifically that that is like burnt into my brain. Like in the middle of a set. Because your music is weak. Snot does? That's bullshit. Oh, Ski Mask? Well, they knew each other. Listen, I don't fuck with that. If your music is not strong enough, if your music is so weak that you need to play like some other person's hype song in the middle of your set to get the crowd into it, don't like write better songs. You know what I mean? Write better songs. Wait, hold on. I'm okay. Get me worked up. Can you imagine me like making my set list, sending Brody my set list, and like being like, okay, Brody, this is the part of my set. This is the part of my set where people generally start to lose interest. So let's play Beamer Boy here. You added Blade? That's good. Thank you. Yeah. But it's like, man. I'm fired up. I'm so fired up. Tom says, I think I saw Pusha T a few years ago, and half the set was him just doing one verse from a load of old songs he's on. I think that's fine. if you're on the song, it's fine. And if your most popular songs are songs that you're featured on, that's fine. You know, a lot of people probably just want to hear those. That's fine with me. But like, imagine that. Like, oh man, people really start to get bored with my set 3 songs in. And my set is supposed to be 45 minutes. So oh boy, I should probably play like a farmer. So stupid. So stupid. It's just weak. You're fucking weak then. Don't play shows. Come back. Start playing shows when you can like support, like, you know what I mean? Or just like fucking own it. Like learn. Listen, I'm not even saying don't play shows. I'm not trying to gatekeep playing shows if you don't have a million hits. I don't have a million hits. I have like, listen, realistically, I have like 6 or 7 songs that people go crazy for. And then the rest, some people love them and some people don't. And it's whatever. It's totally fine, you know? So all I can do is like try and write good songs and win people over with those songs. Like, you know, maybe they don't like it. Maybe it's not their favorite song to listen to or something. But like maybe if I perform it really well and I like really, you know, get the lyrics across and I like nail them live or something, they'll be like, actually, I never realized what he was saying here or something like that. Or maybe I do like this song or whatever. Or maybe they're just like, fuck it. You know, I like 2 Wicca Phase songs and I'm here for Absolute and Doubt and Avoid and you know, whatever. There's nothing I can do, but I'm not going to try and fool you. You know what also, see, this is the last thing I'm going to say. A big part of this bullshit is to get footage of the crowd going crazy for you, which is why people will play Look at Me or whatever the fuck, or Stop Breathing in the middle of their set. You know? Now, I bet if I played Stop Breathing in the middle of my set, it would do really well. But, you know, a lot of this is just so that they could get the crowd, the footage of the crowd going crazy and then post it online. It's the same when like people are on tour with they're an opener on like a big tour and then they're posting like pictures being like, damn, like thousands of people every night, and it's like, you know, whatever. I can't get into it. The politicking of these people, man. But they're not punks. You know what I mean? They're not punks. Oh, Sweet Potato. Hold on. Sweet Potato Punk says he became a fan of mine from going to a show. They went for Glitterer and left a big Wicca fan. That is a sweetheart. That's a sweet thing to say. You are a sweetheart. Thank you. How many times have I taken my shirt off playing shows? A couple. The answer is not never. There's footage. Sometimes it's hot. But yeah, like some of these people aren't punks in a shows. You know what I mean? Again, I'm not trying to be gatekeeping. Anyone who wants to play a show can play a show, but don't think that your set was awesome because the crowd went crazy when you played Look at Me in the middle of your set. Do I get nervous before shows? Yes. And you know what I mean. I'm not saying like you have to be a punk. I'm just saying like you have to be a real person. You know what I mean? Just be a real person and take the show for what it is, you know? Any chance you're going to be around after the show tomorrow, or am I getting out of there ASAP? I don't know. See how the show goes. See how I feel after. I kind of explained this last time, but sometimes like sometimes it's just like hectic and I can't really hang out, you know? Do I have a prayer or ritual I do before a show? Not really. Sometimes I'll do like push-ups. One time, I think I told the story before, but one time I was playing in Texas, I think it was, or Arizona. I was playing in Arizona, and one of the openers was like asking me how I like how to not get nervous before, and I was like, well, if you do like a bunch of, because they hadn't played a bunch of shows, you know, they haven't played that many shows, and they were like, what do you do? And I was like, I do a bunch of push-ups. If you're nervous, do a bunch of push-ups, and then like your adrenaline will be going, and you'll be like calm, you know. This kid did like 100 push-ups in a row. He did push-ups for like 20 minutes before he went on. I could not believe it. And then after, he was like, that worked. And I couldn't believe it. So many push-ups. Do I drink before a show? Is it a bad idea to drink before performing because of your reaction time to being on beat, etc.? I don't know. Sometimes I have a drink, sometimes I don't. I don't know. It depends. If my friends are there, sometimes, but I don't know. It's not, I don't really think about it, you know? Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I like to have one. I'll have like a White Claw or something. Yeah. Anyway, I'll talk about my favorite shows ever, and then I'm out of here. How do I find a list of my shows? Setlist FM? Yes. All right, here we go. In no order, I will say the Wicca Phase show in Sydney, Australia, at the Oxford Art Factory. Great show. London show at Scala. Really great. That was on November 4th, 2019. What were my thoughts on the Syracuse show I did a few years back? I did not think that was a great show, but I think that was a sound issue. It just wasn't loud enough, I felt like. And it was still light out, I think, when I played. I don't know. I wasn't really feeling that show. The crowd was great, but, you know, 2019 is when that show was. Sorry. The Australia show. March 5th, 2019 at the Hard Luck Bar in Ontario. I loved that show. That was really fun. I think it sold out too. April 11th, 2019 at the Echoplex. That was a good show. Yeah, that was in LA. Market Hotel, February 28th, 2019. Loved that show. That one sold out too. I think that ranks as one of my favorite shows ever. That's like very high up there. The Echoplex show was the Suffer On one. It was like April of 2019. Here's my set list for that show. Ready? Together, Rest, When Will It End, Lights on Paper, Does Your Head Stop, Spiderweb, Contact, Corinthiacs, High Strangeness, Crushed, Stress, Just One Thing, Secret Boys, Suffer On, and Avoid with Doves. That was a cool show. The Suffer On show in Chicago. Awesome show. That was in, I forget what day where that was. Uh, June 17th, 2018, in Warsaw, Poland. Awesome set. That is in my top 3 shows ever. Nature World Night Out, 2018. Insane. Wait, is that the one? 2018? Nature World Night Out, 2018. Hold on. Now I'm getting confused. I think the Poland show might be my favorite. January 4th, 2018 at the First Unitarian Church. I love that show. November 6th, 2018 at Underworld, London. Love that show. I'll tell you what, there's also a show in Brighton that I absolutely loved. I had a great fucking time at that show. Don't know where it is. Don't know when it was. Can't find it. Loved it. I think number 1, yeah, Market Hotel or the Warsaw show, or I don't know, all the Chicago shows are really fun. Chicago and Seattle are both feel like where in Brighton was it? I don't know. It was at I played 2. I played Green Door Store and I played Hope and Ruin. Both were awesome. But I think the Green Door Store was the thanks Ruby. I think that was the better of the two Brighton shows. I also think I gave a very impassioned speech about how Brighton was my second home. Realistically, I think in terms of Wicca Phase shows, Chicago, Seattle, Los Angeles, and Arizona are generally the best places for me. Those shows were in 2018 and 2019. May of 2018, I played the Green Door Store. Oh, and Hope and Ruin was November 5th of 2019. That was the better of the two. I'm sorry. That was the better of the two. That was with Zubin and Cremation Lily. Or Cremation Lily DJ'd. Yeah. Lollapalooza. Oh, the Lollapalooza attic show. That's up there. One of my favorites. Also, the first Nature World Night Out that Goth Boy Click played. Where it was like me, Peep, Tracy, Coldheart, Ned. Everyone was there. That was awesome. And I did a set with Corbin. Or a song with Corbin. That was a really crazy year. The Attic Show, Palmer House, was that the name of it? I love that place. The actual Lollapalooza set, couldn't care less about it. Oh, Truvian, I'm looking at a website called Setlist FM. that has a list of all the of all the venues and like the dates. I don't remember anything, and I really aside from most of the shows that I named, I have very very little memory of the shows themselves. You know, it's usually the stuff surrounding the shows. All right, does anyone have any questions? If not, I'm gonna get out of here. But I'll chill for 10 minutes, and if anyone has any questions, I'll answer them about shows. What's my favorite number? 7, 13, or one of those. Thanks, Zervan. Hype for tomorrow? Yes, I am. I have a lot of friends coming to the show. Ben Greenberg is going to be there. You guys have heard all about Ben Greenberg. He's going to be there. I'm excited for that. Excuse me, I almost choked on my coffee. Who else is going to be there? I don't know. What am I wearing for tomorrow? I don't know. I have no idea. A lot of anxiety about that. More anxiety about what I'm going to wear than what I'm playing. Normally I'm just normally I just uh normally I'm just like, you know what? Shows are not to be shows are don't show shows don't have to be like a pretentious thing, and I should just wear whatever I normally wear because, whatever. I don't know. So we'll see. Ravender, what are you anxious about for the show? It'll be fine. I'm not worried. More songs with Wells on the Garden Avenue album. Might have to. I need to get some more features for that. Did I ever talk about the results of the merch survey on the stream? No, I will do that eventually, once the merch that came from that is revealed. Taylor, I am not wearing a suit. When did I discover paganism? I don't know. I'm not a pagan, though. I mean, maybe technically I am, but not. I don't identify as one. I don't identify as much. Oh, yeah. You'll be okay, Ravender. It's fine. Do you have a place to stay? As long as you have a place to stay, you're fine. Maybe I did talk about the merch survey results. I had a call with Copes about them. That wasn't public, but yeah. Do I play unreleased songs ever? Yes, but tomorrow night I'm not. Because I don't really have anything that's ready to be played. Thank you, Sweet Potato Punk. I appreciate that. Thanks for the kind words, too. You're okay, Ravender. Yeah, you'll be fine. Do I identify with any religion? Well, I identify is a tricky word. I grew up in a Polish National Catholic Church. Do I know about Hive Mind? Yes, I do. Noel, thank you. I appreciate that. Someone asked about the merch from the show. Yeah, whatever's left over will go online. I kind of ordered a lot of it with the intention of some of it going online, so we'll see how it goes tomorrow. Thank you, Truvian. Do I know prices offhand? Yeah, t-shirts are $25. There's 2 t-shirts, a gray one and a black one, and they are $25. And there's a long sleeve that's $35. And the hats are like $20 or something. Yeah. Okay. Do I still practice the Catholicism, or is it just something you identify with because of your childhood? Probably the latter. I never really practiced it. How do you practice it as a kid? You know what I mean? Like, I was like going, Ruby, I will give the Twitch a shout out tomorrow, of course. This is like my first big show post Twitch. Anyway, yeah, join the Discord. I'll be in there later. Taylor got it. If you need last minute tickets for the show, go there. Oh yeah, let's see if winter works. I doubt it does. Let's try it. What is the capacity for tomorrow? 250. Nightbot says the winner is. There's not going to be a winner. We know this. Why are we doing this to ourselves? Taylor. All right. Well, hey, Wickerface Prince Eternal, Brody, tomorrow, Baby's All Right. I'll be back on Thursday. Tuesday. I'm sorry, Tuesday, not Thursday. Tuesday. Regular schedule this week. All right. All right. Thanks, everyone. Thank you. Really, I appreciate it. Yeah. Sunday night.